Hello, everybody, and welcome to Changing African Perspective. So, some people might find this message a little surprising because we're not yet in election season in South Africa. But I felt like it's important to start doing voter education and conscientize people about the issues of voting. So I heard from the grapevine that the 2024 election are going to be on the 1st of May. If things were to go my way, I would have much preferred that we have an early election. And I've written to some of the opposition parties saying to them, instead of asking for a motion of no confidence on the president, instead of trying to remove this minister there, that minister there, why don't you just come together and ask for an early election? I know that it takes time to prepare and to make sure that we're all ready with the IEC and everything, but 2024 is way too far down the line. And if you're looking at the tempo and the pace at which everything is going, we might be in a far dire situation if we're going to wait for 2024. So anyways, I'm not sure what's going to happen with that. It is my hope, though, that we might have the early election. If not, then the 1st of May is what Rob Hessoff is saying will be the date of elections. Very fiery, very controversial, and outspoken, and rightfully so, in my opinion, against the ANC as well as against Cyril Ramaphosa. And he's very clear about his message. He doesn't beat about the bush. He doesn't hide what his views are. So I wanted to kind of dovetail and also add my own perspective on that. The most significant thing that I want to say to us today are two things. It's no secret that South Africa finds itself in a very serious, precarious situation that is beyond what we thought when the governing party, the ANC, took reins and led us through the struggle and everything. And now they find themselves all bent out of shape into a pretzel. And it seems like they've got no clue what's going on. So now we have to change with the winds that are changing and not be shy about it. So first thing that I want to say to you guys is it's significant and important that we all go out and vote on the 1st of May 2024, if that's the correct date. No one can afford to say, look, we want to punish the ANC because they've done so badly. We refuse to go and vote. Democracy doesn't work. Voting doesn't work. What they actually mean is voting for the ANC does not work. The ANC are not the people that they once were. They're not the leaders that we once loved, and we loved Madiba and everybody, and our parents fought in the struggle doing Matolo Pezulu and all that. But times have changed. So we must make sure we go and vote, because let me give you a quick example here. If on that day of voting, of course, people would have pre-registered. If on that day of voting, a majority of the people decided not to vote, let me say people of color decided we're not going to vote because we're going to punish the ANC. And then the people that are, let's say, the Afrikaans, they all went out and voted on that day. And they voted, and guess what? They voted the FF plus into power. Even if the Afrikaans are a minority in South Africa, if they significantly go out and they vote on that day, the FF plus is going to lead this country. Now, I've got no problem with the FF plus myself. They don't give me any sleepless nights. In fact, maybe I would enjoy them being in power because they might actually elevate the country and bring it up again. But that's the importance of people having to go and vote. Please spread this message. Share it with your friends, and not just the video, but have the talk with your parents, your grandparents, and people who feel like them not going to vote is going to be of any help. It won't help them. It will, in fact, put them in a bigger crisis than they actually were. The second thing is, do not vote for the party that you know has done terribly. I know that we have emotional attachments to the ANC, but time is up. They are not who they were. They had a vision, and that was to liberate South Africa, and they have done that. So we thank them greatly for that, but this is now not the time for them to continue their reigns. I'll tell you who I'm voting for. I vote for the Blue Party, but you don't have to vote for them. You can vote for whoever else you want to vote for. But all I'm begging is don't vote for the party that we know has caused significant damage. Even if we have these attachments to them, it's not time for us to think about the party. It's now time to save the country. Do you know that we stand a chance of actually losing this country? We've got a greater chance of this country going down and being a failed state, joining the list of African countries that have failed. And it's a significant list. Almost all of them have failed. And this is where we stand today. If we go again and we vote for the ANC, we might as well kiss this country goodbye, because maybe they are gonna say, well, let's give you Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, and they will throw her in there. But for me, that looks like a bad deal, because even if she was good all by herself, she's still driving a bus of criminals. She won't be able to do her job. They won't allow her to do that. So it's time for us to remember what I believe Einstein said. The results are not gonna change, because these people have shown us who they are, and we voting them out might actually be unburdening them, saving them from their own selves. Now, the bonus point that I'm gonna give you is don't vote for very tiny parties that have just come into the sphere, because you're going to complicate issues of coalition. If we vote for parties that are too tiny and we had to go into a coalition, that coalition becomes extremely unstable, because you cannot make decisions that you want as the party that would have won the majority. You want a party that will win a clear majority and have clear power. I'm hoping that's the DA, because they have people who've got expertise in different kinds of faculties and spheres and departments. It's not just about them coming in because they're friends. They've got expertise. They've studied the departments that they be in. They've got experience. So let's give parties. I think there's the top. I'd say vote within the top 4 parties that we have in the South African ballot box. There's some 23 or 50 people that you could vote for. Don't take your vote and give it to those small little parties, because you are going to throw us into an unstable, a very volatile political instability, where no party can have significant power, and they go into coalition. And if one tiny little party decides, well, we don't like this little thing, they'll just remove their 1% and the whole thing falls apart. So make sure you vote at least for the 4 top parties. If you want to vote for the smaller guys, you can give them the local government election votes. They can govern. They will take over your municipality or your district or anything like that. But for national government, I'd say play around the top 4 big parties. And I think that's all that I'd like to say. The most significant thing is make sure you are registered and that you go and vote, and make sure that you educate people as well on this issue. No one can afford to say we're not going to vote, because that's gonna give us more trouble than we expect. All right, thanks guys. We'll see you again soon. Hope you're well, and take care.